Hey, before the video starts, make sure I drop a like down below. We're going for 1,000 likes on this video. Also, let me know if you guys are going for mascots. You know, type 1 if you're going for mascots this year, and type 2 if you don't think you're going to get them or you're not even trying. Anyway, let's get right into the video. Yo, what's good, guys? Peter here. We are back with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day, unless you're a pure sharp or shot creator that wiggles behind screens.
Dude, this is literally 2K19.
Anyway, before I get the video started, I just want to say thank you guys so much for 90K. We actually hit it on stream, so big shout out to everybody who was in the stream. So we're less than 10K away from 100K. Actually, by the time this goes up, it might be 9K, you know. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on noties to join the family, man. We're on that 100K grind. Shout out to everybody showing support. I just wanted to let you guys know thank you for 90K. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about mascots. There is a huge problem with mascots in 2K19, like a huge problem, and it's so bad that if you're grinding for 98, you might want to stop right now, literally, because I don't think this is ever going to get fixed. With the way 2K is going this year, it really does not look like it's going to get fixed. Now, before I go any further, I want to say 2K19 is still, you know, a good game. Way better than that abomination we call 2K18. Literally the worst 2K of all time. It's really hard to get worse than that game. But yeah, still a really good game. You know, glad they added mascots back. You know, it was in pretty much every 2K but 18. Like 15, 16, 17, no 18, and we have it back in 19. But the thing is, there are so many big problems with mascots that it might not even be worth grinding for at this point. And I know what you're thinking, like, yo, that's like the only rep reward, right? Like, that's what everybody's grinding for. It's 90 get over. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of people are saying stuff like that. There's really no other rep reward. You know, there's no tiger, there's no jetpack, there's no new rep reward like they used to give us in the past. It's pretty much just from previous years, right? So mascot is, you know, that rep reward that everybody is going for. But let me explain to you guys what the problem with them is. So basically, you hit 98 overall, right? You know, super hype. You know, you played literally robots for like 20 hours a day, but I guess it was worth it. Nah, but seriously, you're finally done with your 98 grind. I think most people this year, honestly, they're just gonna start playing Park after 98, unless they're just a sole MyCareer player anyway. The 99 reward is good. You know, you get all of your badges upgraded, same as last year, but I think a lot of people are just gonna go to Park when they get mascots. But say you hit 98, you know, you get your mascots, you go into swags, and first of all, they're 300,000 VC. I've ranted on that enough. Literally almost twice as much as the actual game, considering that I was seeing 2K19 for $40. I don't know if it's still like that, and it is 300,000 VC. Like 200K is $50, right? So 300K is 75. Literally almost twice as much as 40 for one virtual mascot. Literally one. You're probably gonna want way more than that. So maybe you have a million VC. Maybe you buy VC if you cave. Like, I don't think that's the move, honestly. For playing that much micro, you're probably gonna have a lot of VC anyway, right? So say you have like a million VC, you know, you spend 900K on 3 mascots. You come out of swags, you know, you have a huge crowd, you're taller than everybody, and you have this mascot, right? You're probably one of the only mascots in the park. But the thing is, that's not where the problem is. The problem is as soon as you hop into the game. Such a 2K problem. Like, only 2K, and I like you 2K, like you did a good job this year in general, but there's so many problems that literally just didn't have to be in the game that would make it so much better. Only 2K would do this, right? So you hop into the game and it shrinks your player like over a foot, or at least it shrinks your mascot over a foot. So it probably shrinks your player like maybe 8 inches, right? Like your player inside the mascot. So say your player was 7 feet, you're gonna be like 6'4", right? If your mascot was 8 feet, you're probably gonna be like 7 feet, depending on which mascot you have. Like, I don't want to get into specifics like feet, inches, but you guys are gonna see a huge difference, right? So this is from the first 98 overall. You know, this was my reaction to it, kind of wearing the same hoodie. Awkward. But 2K literally shrinks your mascot when you hop into the game. Like, how is this even a problem? Like, who would have thought? Out of all the problems that they're going to put in 2K19, they're going to shrink your mascot when you play the game. So look at this screenshot, right? I was mentioning this in the video, right? So this player is a paint protector or rim protector, right? They're a big man, and they're literally shorter than the small forward with a mascot on in this screenshot because it shrinks your player. Like, it literally shrinks your player so much to the point to where your player that was originally taller than the player without the mascot is now shorter than him with the mascot. Like, what? And it's still a mascot, so it still makes you slower, right? Why did 2K do this? It's actually a huge problem. Like, if you're a center, it's probably gonna shrink your actual player, like inside the mascot, a good 8 inches. So I have a 7'3" post scorer, right? If I grinded for mascots on him, he would be a 6'7" post scorer. Like, how useless is that? Imagine making a 6'7" post scorer. You can literally make a 6'7" shooting guard in this game. You used to be able to make 6'7" point guards. So it basically turns your player into a dud. Like, if you're still good at 2K, you're still gonna be able to, you know, get by, but it completely ruins your player because you have now the speed of a center with the height of a guard. And this mainly affects centers, right? You know, guards, it doesn't shrink you as much, but it still shrinks you a little bit, right? And this difference is so big, like the way it shrinks you, it literally made the decision for me which player I was going to grind to 99. You know, I was debating between my post score and my play sharp. You guys know I have both those players, right? Both are really overpowered builds, but honestly, post scores, before I came up with my play sharp method, I was getting way more rep with him in my career. Also, I can just play the 1v1 core with him, even though that's just completely broken now. At the time, I was honestly considering my post score, and then when we got the first 98 and I found out that they were shrinking your player, I made the decision like that. You know, I'm playing with my play sharp now, right? Super easy. So unfortunately, if you're grinding for 99, you might want to stop, or you might want to switch to a guard at least. I've talked to a few 98s that are big men, and they say the same thing. Yo, it keeps shrinking my player. You know, I'm still really slow. It really makes your player worse. It gives you a huge disadvantage, and you're going to want to play with your mascot. What's the point of hitting 98 for mascots if you're not going to play in a mascot? And I understand, you know, that's a lot of time you put into my career just playing robots. Maybe you're playing Park, I don't know, but it's really bad. Like, I don't think they're gonna fix it. 2K has not acknowledged it. They haven't said anything about it. Think of it, we got the first 98 like a month ago, or I don't know how long. Here, let me check. Yeah, literally a month ago. And this is the thing, if 2K still hasn't even mentioned it yet fixed it, I don't think they're gonna fix it. I don't have, like, just with the way 2K's been doing things this year, or just the way they've always been doing things, they're probably not gonna fix it. So we might have this problem for the whole rest of the year, which means any big that's a 98 is going to have a huge disadvantage with a mascot, which is just really sad. The one rep reward that they added that people wanted, you know, there's no tigers, there's no jetpacks, there's no new rep reward that they used to actually surprise us, right? The jetpacks and tigers were surprises. Mascots are like the only rep reward this year, and they're just broken. There's a huge problem with them. It's really sad. There is a little bit of hope, I guess you could say. I mean, patch 6 they said is going to come out soon. I'm probably gonna make a video on it, but considering they haven't mentioned it, I don't know if they're going to fix the mascots. Of course, I'm going to keep you guys updated on that. The thing about this is that I don't even know if 2K did this on purpose or on accident, just with the way they do things, right? So, like, for example, the come-up court or the bum court, whatever you want to call it, right? The court without a squad spot last year. So many people thought that was an accident, right? They just forgot to put a squad spot on it. And we later found out that was on purpose. So this whole mascots being broken thing could actually be on purpose. Now, you're probably thinking, why would 2K do this? Why would 2K make people that grind and play robots, which they're already making people do because you can't play Park to, well, you can. It's going to be way slower, right? Like every 98 so far is grinding MyCareer. So you're going to make all these people that grind robots for 20 hours a day play on a broken mascot. Why would they do that? I can only think of one reason, and it's a really stupid reason. They don't want you to have an advantage. Basically, what mascots did when they actually had them in the game and they were not broken is they made your player a lot taller. Obviously, right? If you're putting a mascot on, you're going to be taller. So depending on which mascot you had, they made you taller and they made you slower, right? And the only reason I can think is that they didn't want you to have an advantage when you were playing with the mascots. Like, oh, he's a mascot, he's gonna set like Miyagi's or like these big screens, this and that. That's the only thing I can think of, right? They didn't want people complaining that mascots were too overpowered. They weren't even that overpowered though. Like, yeah, they made you a little bit taller, but they also made you slower, like significantly slower. Like I said, depending on what mascot you had. So the only thing I can think of, like in terms of their thinking, was we don't want people to have an advantage with mascots, so we're gonna make them shorter. But they overdid it. Like, of course, 2K, they overdid it to where it doesn't make you the same height as you normally would be. It literally makes you shorter. But that reason is so stupid. Like, the reason is that they don't want an overall rep reward to give you an advantage, where literally the 99 rep reward is a badge that upgrades all your badges and makes your player completely overpowered. Like, that reason is just invalid. That's the only reason I can think of that 2K was thinking with even doing something like this. But maybe it was just on accident. Maybe they just completely broke it. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think they're gonna fix it though, unfortunately. And it really sucks, you know. 2K19, I honestly felt like when it came out, had the most potential out of any 2K, right? It had the most potential. Even 2K18 when it came out had the most potential out of any 2K. You know, if they just added new content, new parks, stuff like that, you know, they've added new parks in the past to 2K. And of course, they fixed the gameplay and all this stuff, right? I mean, there's so many, I don't want to talk about it. And that goes with this game too. You know, the game is still good, but when it came out, it had the potential to be the best 2K of all time. That still goes to 2K16, honestly. 2K does this every single year, and I don't feel like they're ever going to be able to top 2K16. 16 at this point. They come out with a game, you know, it has a skill gap, especially considering that this year they're hyping up there was a huge skill gap. All the good players are like, yo, don't change anything, this and that. I was enjoying this 2K so much. I was streaming it like 6 hours a day. I had like a 95 win percentage just because it was the first 2K in like 3 years that actually had a skill gap when it came out. But then all the casual players or the bums just start complaining this and that is unbalanced. They changed the contest system like 5 times. They nerfed the passing lane steals so much. Like, they just lower the skill gap. They do this every year. A big part of that is because of archetypes. Like, literally, archetypes are so limited that the one thing they can do has to be super overpowered, right? Like, how many times have you played a game and you're like, oh, he made that, he's just a shot creator. Oh, he just made that because he's a post scorer. Oh, he just made that because he's a pure stretch big, right? That's literally what 2K is at this point because of archetypes. Like, it'll be impossible, I'm convinced, it'll be impossible to top 2K16's gameplay with archetypes. Not only because they keep changing the game the wrong way, but they don't listen to people throughout the year. You want to know why sharps and stretchers are so overpowered? Because like I said, the one thing they can do simply is just worth 3 points, where every other overpowered thing that every other archetype can do is just worth 2. Like, it's that simple. And it really is sad. Like, there's so many little things that are ruining this game. You know, I don't want to talk about stuff I've talked about in previous videos, but I think the most sad part about it is just that 2K just doesn't pay attention anymore. If there's a huge game-breaking problem in the game, especially one that people pay $75 for, it definitely should get fixed, right? And I don't know if you guys have realized this, but 2K, yeah, they are putting new content in throughout the year, but that content was done before the game even came out. You know, they had all 30 of their parks done. Like, we haven't even seen all 30 of them, but they had all of their parks done before the game came out. They had all of the events, like, okay, February 15th is going to be this event, or you know what I mean? They had the whole year laid out with every park for every single day, every rep reward, all the clothes being released. Like, we've already seen the Christmas and St. Patrick's Day clothes. Somebody found them in the game already. Like, everything is already actually in the game. So it's not like they're making this throughout the year, right? They already had everything done. So they really could just leave the game out to dry, which is what they're doing right now. Of course, coming out with the occasional patch that probably makes the game worse. But it's not about, oh, next year. Like, we've been playing the whole next year game for so many years, saying next year will be better, and that was always not true until this year. This game is actually good, right? It just really sucks that there's so many little problems that literally if 2K had a few people working on, most people probably just working on the next 2K, but just a few people just making sure that this game isn't broken, those little things being fixed, like very little things, would make the game like twice as good. Not, oh, we need a new park, we need tigers, like not something big like that, just little things like the mascots not being shrunk, or seeing your own win streak, or we literally had 5 patches in the game and you still can't join off people. Like, it takes like 5 times. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. It just seems like there's always some weird problem in 2K every year. Like, you just wouldn't think of it. Like, who would have thought that you just can't join people? Like, it takes 5 times to join people. Who would have thought of that? It's something different every year. Who would have thought that you can't see your own win streak? Like, what? The one thing I can remember that was a huge problem when the game came out and they did fix, and I'm really happy for it, is the whole spin the wheel thing. You know, it was in the stage, it made stage completely dry, and they ended up making a whole separate building for it and putting like 8 wheels in it. Obviously that was more towards the beginning of the year, but it does show that 2K can do stuff like that. Like, they could fix the mascots, they could make it so you can actually join people, they could load more people in the parks to stop making them so dry. It's really all up to them at this point, and it's up to us to just make this year, I guess, the best it can be. I'm gonna end it off there. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments, do you guys think the mascots are gonna get fixed? I really hope they do, but I honestly don't know at this point. Don't forget to drop a like down below. As always, we're going for 1,000 likes, and if you're new to this channel, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on notifications to join the family. We're on that 100K grind. I'm so glad I can say that now. And of course, we're on that daily upload grind, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.